This video has been a year in the making and I wasn't sure if I was even going to post it at all because sometimes even your favorite brands let you down. I'm going to email Crayola about this. I hope I don't get a cease and desist.
Crayola is the most well-known art brand in the world, and with the 465 million markers they make each year, I was surprised to find out they had an adult range. They weren't at all what I expected. I came across the pencils a few years ago and they were decent, but far more expensive than the kids range. But their markers, I bought them to compare in my ultimate marker comparison and decided they were so bad that I didn't even include them in my testing. So on my mission to find out more about the rest of the adult signature range, I visited the Crayola experience in Texas to see what else they offered and to buy a crayon with my name on it, obviously. And after hitting the gift shop and seeing the other Crayola signature products available, I bought the entire range. Are we surprised? From here, I see there being two possible outcomes. First, this video will be about I reviewed every Crayola signature product and it will be overall pretty positive and just a generally fun video. Or I'll be publishing a video called Crayola Failed and you'll know there's some drama ahead. Either way, I've just spent a lot of money on art supplies and I hope it was worth it. Shopping spree. I have a lot of markers, a lot of pencils. I've even got some crayons and I am a crayon. I don't know where to start. This is supposed to be a relaxing, nice sound.
I've decided to start with the signature colored pencils that I've already used a few times. These aren't bad and I've given them pretty good scores in the past on how well they blend and they layer compared to similar brands, but it's all downhill from here.
I understand the appeal to dual tip. I also understand the appeal to dual colors. What I don't understand is the decision to have it dual tip and dual colors. I just don't think there are that many scenarios where that particular combination is useful. Instead, it just feels like it's really limiting my range and all the colors that would have blended really well with other colors don't have brush tips. Tip quality is not great either. What color would we pair with a nice yellow? Obviously a highlighter. Oh, it just feels so cheap. This feels even thinner than the black plastic from some of the cheap Chinese brand markers that I've bought. Neon light effects markers. Well, these instantly look like kids' markers. Let's make neon lights. Oh, well, that's gonna be a problem. Wait, is it changing? Is it gonna suddenly surprise me with color? Oh, it's like slowly appearing. So bright, it says. Like a neon sign. I mean, it's kind of neon. I can't close the lid. Oh, that's how they're marketed to adults, just make them impossible so kids won't want to use them. How is it so bad there and so good here? It's the same marker, like 5 seconds later. Oh, seriously, these lids. Is the magic happening yet? I mean, they are neon-ish. I kind of feel like you could just do that with any other paint markers and you're gonna get a better result straight off the bat. Like, I feel like there's potential to this idea, but the execution was like. So if you bought these, even for our kids, and it came out like that.
I'd be disappointed.
Did we already do these? No, they're different. I thought these were the same thing. Brush and detail dual tip markers, sketch and detail dual tip markers. Kind of would have preferred if they just sort of like brought out one range in more colors rather than bringing out multiple very, very similar ranges. This keeps happening. It doesn't glide off. I want it to glide off. I swear these are the same as the markers we just looked at. How are they not the same? They're even the same colors. Almost. No, they're not. Oh, well, that's confusing. There is no way on the outside of these markers to tell the two different sets apart. So the only difference between this brand and this brand is that they've changed the end. And this end just feels like a Crayola Super Tip. The Crayola Super Tips are a lot more affordable than these, so I'd probably just rather buy a bigger set of Crayola Super Tips. All right, is it the same? Is it the same? Nope, wrong marker. Oh, I reckon that's the same, except that mine's had a bit more heavy use. This is the kids range. This is the adult range. It's the same thing. It's the same marker. It's just the super tips. They've literally just repackaged the Crayola super tips. Surely the blending markers are different. These look like something from the 90s. And whoa, that is not the color that I thought was coming out of that marker. I don't know why they smell so gross. Oh, that feels like something I'd buy from the dollar store. Oh, the smell. It doesn't even smell like alcohol marker or anything. It just smells like clag. Clag, the glue that we had in school in the 90s. Oh, that one's worse. That's so bad. All right, let's try them on some blending paper. It feels like it's like got a lot of alcohol in it compared to the color, like way too much alcohol for the pigment, because the colors aren't that bold, but then the lighter color is stripping the darker color really quickly, which tells me that it has a really high concentration of alcohol in it. I'm trying to figure out what the appeal of this product is. Oh, I've got to stop opening them. I keep trying to give them another chance and then the smell just comes back. Then they've got these blending markers. You do not need 2 colorless blenders in what is only a set of 14 markers. We don't even need 1. Oh, it slides off better because they're still in the plastic wrap, so that was on me. That's a weird way to pack them. Why would you bother with a tin and then have little packets inside? These look so cheap. If I saw this without knowing it came from this packaging, I would assume this was a Crayola knockoff. Is it supposed to be stripy? And the print on the thing? Doesn't the kids one look better quality than this one? Look at it. Are they, and oh, don't tell me this is just super tips. I swear that's just a Crayola super tip. So these remind me a lot of the Faber-Castell gelatos, where they're like almost a lipsticky feel, and then you can add water. I actually think the Crayola feels nicer than the Faber-Castell. Jane Davenport makes something similar too. Ooh, hers are way more buttery. Oh, see, I feel like Jane's version of this is actually a lot better. I feel like these at least have some potential to be like a competitor for the Faber-Castell gelatos. I actually like how they lay down a little bit more than the gelatos, but I'm also not someone who uses these very often. I think I'll be going for Jane Davenport's marzipan twists, because when it comes to adding the water, the color in these picks up a whole lot more in the water, whereas adding the water to these other things feels like it's not really supposed to be a feature. I'll have to pull these out for my paint marker comparison video soon. They all react really weird on the black. That white is horrible. These were advertised as pearlescent. What am I missing? Satiny gloss finish. They kind of just look like normal paint markers. All right, well let's try with this iridescent color changer. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a glitter pen. It's also just turning blue. I feel like this is almost a cool product. It's very scratchy. The iridescent marker is the one changing color to the color of every marker it has touched. Blue, yellow, red. Ugh. Are my expectations too high or like, I don't know if I'm just asking too much here. I just don't feel like this whole set is worth buying for this one pen effect. From one angle, you get beautiful iridescence. From the other angle, you get a scratchy, gross mess. These don't even look fun. They look fun on the packet. Why does everything look like it was made 30 years ago? They've not even lined up the packaging. Look at that. It just feels like the quality control is terrible. And this brush, oh, this cannot be the adult standard of brush. This might be a bit of an unfair comparison, but the Neo colors are the only other watercolor crayons that I have. So even though they are a way more premium option, I mean, Crayola's wanting to market to adults, so this is kind of what people are used to. This is crazy because their actual crayon colors are really nice. The packaging does not do it justice. Whoa, that's weird. What is that doing? I thought I was gonna mix the colors and instead it's like acting as a resist. It's not supposed to be resisting the water. It's the pink. There's something in the pink that is acting as a resist, which is the opposite of what it's supposed to do. So as much as this, like at a first glance, appeared like it works, there's a fundamental thing wrong with these of something is resisting the water. And as a result, instead of blending, we're gonna get patchy colors. And that's the core function of this product. I was really hoping that this would be like a more affordable alternative to the Caran d'Ache Neo color, but instead, it's just an inferior product. And it doesn't do the core function that it's supposed to do, which is be water soluble. What else is even in the Signature range? We've got tricolor pencils, acrylic paints, pearlescent acrylic paints, and we have the DIY Gallery Designer. Oh wait, there's more. Metallic outline markers, liquid metal markers. Ugh. How old is this? Let's just put marketing hat on for a second. Isn't it even just a weird choice that like this would just say Crayola, but this would say Crayola Signature? Like it just gives me no confidence that this was designed in the first place with adults in mind and not just a repackaged version of another set that already exists. That's a nice color. That's the pearlescent one? It's the non-pearlescent one. So both sets of paints do seem okay when I first try them. They're fairly opaque, the colors are nice, until I move them to the black paper, where I suddenly realized that actually my hot press watercolor paper was definitely carrying the load here, because these aren't really opaque at all. The pearlescent again is just kind of underwhelming. There's not really a strong pearlescent effect that I would expect from a pearlescent paint. These liquid metal craft markers are another kind of almost there product. They're just a bit watery and the colors are completely different on white and black, and neither are what I would call liquid metal. They're more like a faint glitter effect. Gold, rose gold, gold, rose gold, gold, rose gold. Do you see the problem? The metallic outline markers are another disappointment where it just feels like they're mixing and matching features that they haven't quite perfected in these other products and trying to build new products. None of them are what they even promised to be on the packaging. I feel like if I gave these to my kids, they would be disappointed, and that's not a good start for Crayola's Signature adult range. A gallery designer's gotta be something fancy. Seriously? Are you serious? That's the whole product. It's just full of air. Signature. Oh, the paper's not even full size. Look how small that paper is. But the giant box that it came in. Seriously? And it's like cheap. Oh no, this is like the most disappointing out of everything so far. How is this? No. No. The origami paper's not even double-sided. Crayola, I think we need to talk. I knew from the start that these products probably wouldn't compete with some of the other brands that I use all the time, but I also didn't expect them to be this bad. I'm genuinely disappointed. Like, not just for me, but for Crayola fans and for adult colorists everywhere. This is Crayola. Their kids' pencils and their super tip markers are such good value for the price. And with Crayola's amazing reputation and their commitment to making good products, I just expected so much more than this. I knew there might be some surprises in this Crayola Signature range, but I didn't set out to make this into some kind of Crayola takedown video. So what now? I want to find a way to turn this into a positive. I need to find a way to turn this into something more than just a bad review. If there is one thing I took away from the Crayola experience, it's that Crayola pride themselves on listening to their customers. So there should be an opportunity here to speak on behalf of the adult coloring community in, I guess, an open letter to Crayola in an effort to hopefully help them make something great for adults. So I think that's my plan. I need to find a way to talk to Crayola. With a new mission to reach Crayola, I tried their website form, I emailed their support email, and I even found their marketing team on LinkedIn. I was pretty open about my intentions to make a video that Crayola would probably want some input on, and I got a response pretty quickly actually. Dear Sarah, we recognise consumers like you are our most valuable asset, and we appreciate you sharing your thoughts and recommendations with us. Through our own marketing and product development teams, we are constantly striving to develop new products and improve existing ones to meet your needs. Your feedback will be included with similar comments we've received from other Signature range fans. We appreciate your contact and are here to help if you need us. You're welcome to reply to this email. Best wishes for a colourful day. I'm not giving up. After a little more digging, I found a press release with the name of one of their PR reps who I then found on LinkedIn. Like a normal person, not a stalker. I reached out with a message on LinkedIn and also sent her an email, and I'm hoping that because she's from the PR team, she'll hear me out. Hang on. It's been a few months since I started this, and I was back on Amazon trying to get some more information about these products when I stumbled across something completely different, but also suspiciously familiar. Just how I like my Amazon deliveries. These are Crayola Signature blending markers, and these are Crayola brush tip blending markers. 14 markers, 14 markers, 2 color splendors, 2 blender markers, decorative tin, decorative box. Are these not just the exact same markers? After a bit more comparison, I'm 100% convinced that these are just the Signature markers rebranded. And this isn't the only product I've found like this. Brush tip blending markers, Signature blending markers. Color and detail markers, Signature color and detail markers. Brush and detail dual tip markers, Signature brush and detail dual tip markers. Blend and shade colored pencils, Signature blend and shade colored pencils. I already suspected that some of these products were basically the same product with different tips or slightly different packaging, but these seem more like they're just replacing the Signature range entirely. And it's got me curious. Comparing all of these markers side by side, quite a few of them are exactly the same as the kids' Super Tips. This set is literally just the Super Tips but black. This set is just Super Tips with another end. And these new products, the same thing. And then there's the pencils. I've got the kids' pencils, these pencils for adults that are identical to the kids' pencils but in a different box, and the Signature pencils, and then these new pencils that are the same as the Signature pencils. And I wouldn't mind so much if these weren't all presented as some new, amazing, different product that's better for adults.
Hey Sarah, you checked your emails?
No? All right. The PR angle worked and I've got a reply. Now, I was fairly upfront in my email saying that I was doing this video and that I was disappointed in their range, and I've said that I'm reviewing their products one by one, and it's all pretty negative at the moment. But actually, I would love to chat with someone and find a way to turn this around. Their reply is interesting. An on-camera interview may be challenging, but they are happy to answer some questions over email. They have asked what I don't like about the Signature products and said that a bit more detail would help. So let's get into some details. First, let's talk markers. And specifically, let's talk marker tips. They have a lot of different tips in this range. Many similar or exactly the same as the tips on their kids' range, and none of them are particularly good quality. They either squeak, streak, feather, tear, or just fall apart. The quality is lacking, and so is the quality control, with many customers on Amazon reporting dried up markers just like I've found in my sets here. Then there's the color ranges. For a brand who is known for their unique and clever color names, it is crazy that all of these sets are so lacking in colors. 24 colors, 12 colors, 6 colors. When I asked you which things would stop you from buying a set of pencils or markers, over 1,000 people agreed that not enough colors in a set was the most important thing. But that's not the worst thing about the Signature range. There is a fundamental problem in some of these products and what they're supposed to do. The blending markers don't blend. The neon markers don't neon. And the Pearlescent marker is more like a glitter effect. These products all feel like novelty products aimed at kids, not a range designed for the adults, hobbyists, and collectors that they're marketed to. My biggest question is, how are any of these products different or better than the kids range? Some of these perform exactly the same as the kids products. The tips are the same, the quality is the same. What's the difference? Is it the tin? And yes, I've emailed Crayola all of this and also printed it out in a handy binder for my own reference. But have they replied? Yes, they have. The email came through to say that they shared the initial email with the product marketing team and they were interested to get more of my feedback. The product marketing team want my feedback, but hold your excitement because there's a second email. Great news, Karen Waters, who leads our adult colouring platform, is excited to connect with you by phone. I need a bigger binder. Introducing a love letter and mild intervention for the world's favourite crayon company, or LLFTWFCC for short. If Crayola want to meet, it's time to get serious. Part 1, Crayola, we have a problem. If I'm going to meet with Crayola about their products, I need to start by learning more about Crayola as a company and what led them here into the adult colouring space. Crayola have been around since 1864 and produces nearly 3 billion crayons each year. That's about 12 million every day. But they also make a huge range of other products, mostly for kids. Somewhere around 2017, Crayola started bringing out pencils and markers with the label Crayola Signature. But I can't seem to find the exact date or any kind of mention in their history or their Wikipedia page. Maybe this is why so many people, me included, didn't really even notice this range existed for the first few years. 1995, Crayola changes some of the scents in the Magic Scent crayons due to complaints of this smelling good enough to eat. I can't seem to find any official release date, but the earliest review I found was in 2017 by Jenny's Crayon Collection. This time frame makes sense because it would come right after the first global adult colouring craze in 2015 and 2016, which had slowed down a bit by 2017, but was the beginning of what is now a huge market of coloured pencils and markers for adult hobbyists. Which brings me to part 2. Who's actually using all these pencils? Meet the serious hobbyist who spends more time swatching than actually colouring and treats art supply purchases like major investments, complete with unboxing ceremonies. The creative multitasker who also loves every other DIY craft and keeps their desk in a constant state of glorious, colourful chaos. The casual dabbler who mixes and matches pencils from different sets and starts pages with enthusiasm and finishes them 6 months later. If ever. Then there's the technique tinkerer, constantly experimenting with the different supplies and techniques and keeps all of their test pages. The social colorista who colors for the community, sharing their work in progress pages and joining every Facebook coloring group. The ultimate collector who buys art supplies like some people buy shoes. Finally, the everyday escapist who colors to unwind and doesn't mind if pages go unfinished, as long as it gives them a chance to slow down and enjoy the process. And whichever kind of colorist you are, even if you're all of the above, there is one key takeaway here for brands like Crayola, and it's that adults are different to kids. Adults get to decide how they spend their time and their money. They don't color as a developmental tool, they color because they want to, whether it's for stress relief or community or creative expression or even just nostalgia. Adults love the experience coloring brings, and so the experience of their art supplies matters too. Adults want quality products. They want colors that are vibrant and blendable and go down smoothly, not markers that are so squeaky that I've had to mute their sound so that you don't cringe and leave this video. Now, we've already talked about color, and I love talking about color, and bringing out a set of markers beyond 14 colors would be a really good first step for Crayola to improve these. But when it comes to adults, it's not just about how many colors are in a set. It's about whether you have to buy a whole new set of 20 or 50 or even 100 when your one favorite color runs out. That is dry as a bone. One thing that surprised even me is how many people in my poll said that they wouldn't buy a set of pencils or markers if they couldn't find them available individually. They want to be able to buy open stock, that single replacement pencil or maybe extra copies of their favorite color marker. Maybe it's a bit of the full set syndrome taking effect here, and with the high rate of dried up markers in these sets, replacements are a big deal. Adults don't just want a positive experience while using their supplies. They also want a positive experience when buying their supplies. I'm talking aesthetics. I'm talking Instagram-worthy displays. I'm talking the unboxing experience. Oh. And a nice tin is a good first step, but the rest of the packaging here needs a significant upgrade. Oh. Which brings me to part 3, because it's impossible to truly know your audience unless you also know your competition. I was surprised to see that more people search for Crayola on Google than for almost any other competitor I could think of. So it's crazy that they're not completely dominating the market in pencils and markers for adults like they are for kids. Instead, it's brands like Faber-Castell, Prismacolor, Arteza, Derwent, and Ohuhu. And some of these are baby companies compared to Crayola. Crayola is a more recognizable name than any of these other brands, but Crayola Signature, it's mostly unknown in coloring circles. And when it comes to comparing the actual products of these brands, I've got you covered. I've tested over 90 different colored pencil brands on this channel, comparing their quality, their blending, durability, price range, and even their light fastness. In fact, it was in the light fast testing that I discovered that the kids' Crayola pencils are actually more fade resistant than the adult Crayola Signature pencils. And markers, I've done that too. With Crayola's kids markers performing surprisingly well again, while the adult markers were so disappointing that I ended up not testing them at all, so I could instead make this video. Which brings me to where we are now. Part 4. I've prepared a full review of each product in the Crayola Signature range, including my own testing and frustrations, areas for improvement, and some of the most common feedback I've found in the Amazon reviews. And it's not that people hate these. There are some great reviews too, but with the competition they're up against and the reputation of Crayola to uphold, I think these pencils and markers have big room for improvement. So here's what I would like to see. I don't know if Crayola have been secretly rebranding these signature supplies and maybe getting rid of this particular name, but the name isn't the problem. The problem is that these aren't adult products. Let's start by simplifying this range. We don't need 6 different variations of the same marker under different names with different colors in each. Give us one set of really good water-based markers with good tips. Crayola actually already thrives in this category with the super tips, but we don't need the same tips again under a different label. The dual tip option is actually a great idea, assuming each end is the same color. And I love a brush tip, but it's gotta actually move like a brush tip. Otherwise, it might as well be a bullet tip. I would love to see the overall quality improve, but specifically, I'd also like to see a bigger range of colors and the markers clearly labeled with those colors. Because let's face it, the barrel color never matches the ink color. So us adult colorists, we like to swatch. Swatching means we know exactly what color we're going to get. And for that, we need the colors labeled, a color name or the color code or both. Just something so we don't have to create our own DIY labels with other markers or with tape. And serious bonus points if you can make the barrel actually match the ink. When I'm looking at your marker, I want to see the color and I want to see which set this is from. It doesn't have to be the specific brand written on here, but don't leave me stuck with 2 markers that look identical from different sets. I want to be able to dump all these in my pencil case and still be able to grab the right one when I'm coloring. A pencil case which I only need because most of this packaging isn't worth keeping. The tins are nice, but I would be so much more excited to proudly display my Crayola markers and my pencils if they are presented with a little more prestige. Give me thicker plastic, or even better, ditch the plastic and give me foam. Something I won't just want to add to landfill, but instead will keep to show off my supplies. My beautiful Crayola adult coloring supplies. And that's all I have to say about that.
So it's 11:10 p.m. and I have just put the finishing touches on my 33-page report for Crayola. It was 50 pages, but
I know you've worked really hard on this, but honestly, this is way too much. You should probably just focus on what your audience has told you, because that's probably what they're after. How about I make you a coffee?
after a little bit of feedback from Shane, we decided that I'd maybe gone a little overboard. So we made some cuts.
I've got my new, much smaller feedback ready for the super early morning meeting with Crayola because time zones meant that I'd either need to be up at 1 a.m. or 6 a.m. And for something this important, it's worth a little less sleep.
How'd your meeting go?
They cancelled?
What? Why?
Well, they rescheduled.
Yeah.
They want to meet in 2 weeks, even though I told them that we wanted this video to go up in 2 weeks. I mean, called into a meeting. Do we have room to push the video back a week if we need? If it's a difference between hearing from Crayola. Like, the last thing I want to do is like publish a video and say Crayola stood me up and actually they wanted to meet and it was just bad timing and we've just picked a fight with a really big company. I don't want to do that. All right. I'll see what I can do. After a few more weeks, I ended up on a call with Connie Walker from Crayola's PR team and Karen Waters, who heads up the product development for Crayola's adult products. We spoke for over an hour and I was able to share all of my thoughts on the Crayola Signature range and ask many of my questions. And I was asked not to share a lot of what we spoke about, but I did push a bit, and here's what I'm allowed to share with you. The Crayola Signature range is going through a significant refresh that will address the consumer feedback and insights we've seen and heard. We're excited that we'll be taking the product line to a new level in the near future. I can't say much more, and I still have a lot more questions than answers, but what I can say is that Crayola is listening, and it seems like something new is coming, and I hope to be one of the first to tell you all about it when I can. So the story doesn't end here. Stay tuned for part 2, I guess.